Good evening and welcome to Tanager Volleyball with Fuller Digital Solutions on YouTube. It's another exciting night of volleyball action from the Vermillion High School. It's a big matchup as well for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the Madison Bulldogs. First off, this is DAC 12 action, so these games mean even more when it comes to conference play and where these teams stand in their regions. It's been a very crazy season that we know of so far for the Vermillion Tanagers, including games that have been canceled due to COVID-19, players that have gone into quarantine for COVID-19, and plenty more. We're going to be talking all about that here on the pregame show as we get you set for Tanager Volleyball taking on the Madison Lady Bulldogs. I'm Heath Nimke, bringing you all the action, and tonight, number 5 Madison comes to town, and what has been a very good team, the Madison Lady Bulldogs, so far this season, as I mentioned, ranked number 5 in Class 11A. Inside their region, which they come out of Region 5, they sit in 4th place, which is crazy to look at, behind Parker, Wagner, Mount Vernon, Plankinton, and then is Madison, Parkston, and McCook Central Montrose. Those are the 6 teams in Region 5. So you may wonder, how does Madison right now be the 4 in that region, but number 5 in the entire state? Well, Madison has played some very tough competition compared to the rest. As I mentioned, this is a very good team, including a couple of their losses comes to Northwestern, who Northwestern, I believe, is a top 5 team. Actually, they're number 1 in Class B. So that is one of their losses, and their other loss comes to the other number 1 team that's in Class A, Sioux Falls Christian. So those are 2 losses that Madison has had so far this season. Otherwise, they have gotten big wins. They have gotten easy wins. How about this way? Vermillion has beat West Central. It took Vermillion 5 sets to beat West Central. For Madison, it was a clean sweep for them. 25-22, 25-13, 25-17. So there's just a little bit of a comparison. Now there's going to be playing a lot more common opponents throughout the rest of the season between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Madison Lady Bulldogs, but that's just a quick look. As we mentioned, for the Vermillion Tanagers, last time we had them on a broadcast was last Tuesday when they traveled to Bonhomme, where they swept the Cavaliers 25-18, 25-19, and 25-17. Then they played again Thursday, a week ago, here at home against the Tri-Valley Mustangs, and just like the football team, they lost 10-25, 16-25, and 20-25. We'll talk more about that game coming up here in just a little bit with head coach Jody Zeller. And this also is part of a 4-game home stretch for the Lady Tanagers, as again Madison and then Garrettson coming up next week, and also the day after Garrettson. So Vermillion is looking to kind of get things turned around, sitting at 2-3 on the season, whereas the Madison Lady Bulldogs at 5-2. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to sit down with head coach of the Vermillion Tanagers, Jody Zeller, and talk about where this season's at and what she expects to keep on going now in this home stretch. That's on the way here in just a moment. You're listening and watching Vermillion Tanager Volleyball, presented by Fuller Digital Solutions.
We rent out and operate dozers, excavators. We also have aerial equipment.
Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix.
We got telehandlers, payloaders, skid loaders, just a lot of different equipment that we rent and we sell it too. And you can rent to buy. And you end up having it for 6 months. We'll give you a buyout option on that thing.
Call Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment. Vermillion. Easy to work with and not hard to find.
You're listening to Tanager Volleyball, presented by Fuller Digital Solutions here on YouTube, getting you set for action tonight. The Vermillion Tanagers taking on the Madison Lady Bulldogs. Now, Lady Bulldogs coming in as a very tough team tonight for the Vermillion Tanagers, as the Tanagers continue to struggle so far this season when it comes to COVID-19 cases, with the volleyball team missing girls once again this evening and just continuing to try to find their identity. The Tanager girls right now 2-3 on the season. As we do each and every time we have volleyball, we always like to catch up with head coach Jody Zeller of the Vermillion Tanagers and talk a little bit about so far this season, the games that we have missed, and what she expects from the Lady Bulldogs tonight. Here she is on our pregame show talking about this week's matchup and what the rest of the season holds. Coach, getting ready for another night of volleyball, taking on a very tough Madison team. But before we get to that point, I want to get to this season so far. Games that have been postponed because of COVID-19. You're almost a month into volleyball and have only had 5 games. What has that been like, having so much space in between games?
You know, I mean, we're learning to adjust with everything as educators this year. We're having big changes in the classroom and obviously big changes on the court as well. It's actually really nice to have extra practice time in the gym, because we didn't get that extra practice time at the beginning of the year, and the summer was cut short in contact hours too. So it's nice to have some extra contact time.
Yeah, I bet it is. And that actually kind of surprises me that you mentioned that, because I know a lot of coaches say, you know, I wish we could just get into drills, but as you say, you haven't had that time really to get acquainted with as a team. So that does make sense, and I bet that has been nice. And going to now a very difficult kind of part of the schedule, it seems like it's game after game, night after night here at the end of September and October. What's that looking like as a coach and as a team?
Yeah, that's the bigger thing, is to, now that we're in, and now that I feel like we're kind of getting into a path and into a rhythm of things that are going on, now we go basically every 2 nights a week, every week. And so the schedule gets a little hectic. I will say it's really nice because a lot of our games are home in this big, long stretch. So that's a nice perk. And the biggest obstacle to me is the quarantine kids. I just got 9 off of quarantine on Sunday, and then I had 4 more go back on Monday. And so that's the biggest thing, is adjusting kids. And just when you think you got one figured out, you lose that one, but then you gain one back. And on the bright side, it gives lots of different kids lots of different opportunities.
Yeah, it definitely gives opportunities, and that, as you mentioned, can be so difficult. I won't bring up at all, by the way, that middle of October kind of schedule where you play a lot of games on the road. So I know that's going to be very difficult as a coach.
Exactly.
But yeah, nice little stretch here at home. Last time we saw you, we had coverage here, it was against Bonhomme, got that nice win, and then a following game on Thursday to Tri-Valley at home, losing 3 straight sets. What happened against the Mustangs?
Well, to me, those were a tale of night and day. We did just about everything we could have done against Bonhomme. We served well, we passed well, and that, of course, led to good hitting. And at Tri-Valley, I think the biggest difference, Tri-Valley served really well at us. Mm-hmm. They missed serve, but the ones they got in were good, strong serves. And our serve-receive did not step up to the plate that night. And when your serve-receive is off, it affects your setting, it affects your defense, and it definitely affects your hitting. And what happened is, you know, Claire was setting from the middle of the court all the time, which takes your right side and your middle side hitters, or your middle hitters out, made us hit strong side every single time. And it's really easy to defend a team that hits the same hit every single time. And so, you know, we were really easy to play defense on, and then they kept getting balls back to us, and our girls got frustrated and got a little bit chippy at each other. But I think we've worked all of that out, and you know, Madison's a great team tomorrow night. It's going to take an all-out effort tomorrow night, but hopefully we've worked out some of those teams. So
I want to bring up something you just mentioned there with the chippiness in the girls, because that is when you come to a lot of other sports, you maybe don't necessarily see it, or you kind of have that opportunity to constantly call timeouts, whatever it may be. But with volleyball, it's a lot more noticeable after every point. It's a moment stop and play. And if it's a bad point, then we get to see those reactions from the players. How difficult is that to manage?
You know, it's something we work on a daily basis. My girls that I have this year I have so many diverse personalities in the kids that I've got. I've got some that are real touchy-feely kids. I've got some that don't want any touchy-feely, and I've got some that are hard as nails, and some that are squishy as a little baby, And so to get those personalities to mesh together is huge, and it's often very difficult. And we're spending a lot of time working through stuff like that. And I like you saw in the Tri-Valley match, we had a little flare up there, but I pulled the individual kids out and took the time to talk to them individually, got them back in. And honestly, the third set was the best set we played that night. And, I had all of those girls right back on the court and got them through it in that amount of time. It's part of the game. It's part of working with girls sports. It's just, it's part of the gig. So we learned to work through that stuff.
And now you have Madison, a very great team so far this season. I believe ranked number 3 in the standings when it comes to the media polls when looking at volleyball. How difficult is this a matchup having Madison at home?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. They're a really, really good team. They're tall. They're good blockers. They play pretty good defense. They have a good setter, and they serve the ball well, too. So they've got most of the aspects really well in the game. The key for us, once again, we won't match their hitting game. We can't. But if our blockers can get touches on the ball to at least slow them down now and then, I have not an ounce of doubt in saying that our defense is better than theirs. I know our defense is better than theirs. So if our blockers can get their block closed and can at least get some touches on those balls so that we can slow them down, I know my defenders can pick them up. And then if we can pick them up, and then we can keep the ball alive. We have to eliminate our hitting errors tomorrow night. So that will be a huge thing.
Would you also say that if you can win it at the net against the Bulldogs, you win this one?
I would say that's going to be a huge part of it because I know we're going to win defensively. I know we will win that aspect of the game. So we need to be more efficient at the net than they are, yes.
And like you mentioned, it's going to be a very difficult task with Madison. And this kind of begins that trend going into next week, Garretson, T area. How big is it, even if you don't win it, to grab the right type of momentum going into this tougher stretch?
Exactly, and that's something we've talked to the girls with, too, even with Tri-Valley last week. We got pretty much blown off the court in set 1, and set 2 wasn't a whole lot better. But we came back and we got a little momentum right at the end of set 2, which pulled us into set 3 really well. And we still lost, but it was a 22-25 loss in set 3 versus I think it was 11-25 in set 1. So that momentum is so big in volleyball. And a lot of that comes down to your mental toughness. And so we've got to be mentally tough. We have to understand that Madison's going to hit the ball at us. They're going to hit the ball at us hard. And we have to play defense, and we have to eliminate errors.
That's Jody Zeller, the head coach of the Vermillion Tannagers, talking about tonight's matchup. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we get you even closer to action between the Vermillion Tannagers and the Madison Lady Bulldogs. That's on the way. You're watching Vermillion Tannager Volleyball, presented by Fuller Digital Solutions.
Make space for tall items. Quickly and easily move the bins side to side for convenient storage options. The FlexiSlide bin, brought to you by Whirlpool.
We're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait, we only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau Agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
We're getting you set for Tanager Volleyball, presented by Fuller Digital Solutions here on YouTube. As you can see, the lights are off in Vermillion. The spotlights are on as we get you set for this big matchup between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Madison Lady Bulldogs. As we mentioned in our pregame so far, Madison coming in as the number 5 seed in the media poll, and they have been a very talented team. Again, their 2 losses for the Madison Lady Bulldogs have been against the number 1 team in Class B and the number 1 team in Class A, the Sioux Falls Christian Lady Chargers, that we will be covering later on this season. So it's going to be a very tough matchup tonight for the Vermillion Tanagers as they introduce these starting lineups. Some big players to watch for the Madison Lady Bulldogs include number 1, Kylie Kruzmark, the 5'7" setter junior. Number 2, Allie Van City, the 5'8" right side hitter. She also is a junior. Number 4, Autumn Barger, the 5'9" outside hitter senior. Number 5, Sophia Vanderbosch, the 5'9" outside senior hitter. Number 7, Abby Brooks, the 6'2" middle hitter senior. Number 10, Audrey Nelson, the 5'11" middle hitter, who is a freshman. And also Abby Morse, the 5'8" middle hitter junior. And finally, number 20, Renee Ross, the 5'5" defensive specialist, who is a junior. Otherwise, this we mentioned, a lot of the Madison Lady Bulldogs are seniors, and they are a very, very talented team. All right, we're going to keep it right here as we now have our national anthem, which will be played here, and just after that, we're ready for volleyball here at Vermillion. The national anthem here in Vermillion. The lights go off and we're ready to get underway tonight between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Madison Bulldogs. Madison tonight will be in their maroon uniforms with numbers and letters that are in white, with the Vermillion Tanagers and their all black uniforms with the numbers and letters that are in red, as everybody is getting into position. Again, a big matchup, as it's been some big sweeps so far from the JV and freshman teams of Madison, including a 25-10 and a 25-12 sweep in the JV. So the Tanagers are looking to avoid the sweep tonight against the Madison Lady Bulldogs, who have done that in 2 out of their 5 wins. They have swept past teams. So again, a very talented Lady Bulldogs team. As getting ready, it'll be Renee Ross to send it over, and we are underway, and it's right away. It's going to be an ace for the Madison Bulldogs, and again, they lead it 1-0. Play 5 sets unless it just takes 3. I should say best 3 out of 5, and another ace, as this time miscommunication by Amber Scholes along with Kara Clemmie. They both kind of avoid it, and it ends up hitting Clemmie's feet. And another point, so quickly, 2-0. And now having to dig it out is Knudsen, and just sends it right back over to Madison. And the Vermillion Tanagers get it sent right back to their side. Can't get it sorted out. And quickly, a 3-point lead for the Madison Lady Bulldogs over the Vermillion Tanagers. Game was scheduled to begin at 7:30, or that tentative schedule, as we know. But again, the sweeps and quick sweeps by the Madison Lady Bulldogs have made this game move all the way up to our start time at 7:05. 4-0 is the score. Taking it up there this time nicely was Shandy Ludwig. Quickly, defense turns to attack for the Bulldogs, but the Tanagers are ready. Again, head coach Jody Zeller mentioned it had to be a great defensive performance, and this time diving to the ground and not able to dig it up is Kara Clemmie. And another point for the Madison Lady Bulldogs, and they lead it early, 5-0 with Renee Rost. Specialist continues to serve, and now chasing after it is Stockwell, and finally the Tanagers get it sent back over at the net there. Trying to come up with the block was Alexis Anders, but couldn't quite get it. But a nice jump by her. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. Quickly, the Lady Bulldogs lead it 6-0. And now, battle at the net, and it's going to be a violation on a carry that's called by the Lady Bulldogs, and Vermillion scores their first point, trailing it 6-1. And now Sydney Stockwell will be the first one up to serve tonight for the Vermillion Tanagers. At the net, and a strong kill there by Abby Brooks. Abby, by the way, the leading killer for the Madison Bulldogs by quite a bit, actually coming into tonight's action, 141 kills. Closest player behind that is Vanderbosch with just 77. So Brooks is a very talented player. Now one that sent too far. No, they say it was tipped, so it's going to be a point for the Tanagers. 7-2 in the first set. And now up to serve will be Claire Doty. Doty takes a good running jump and sends it right over. Madison, though, will turn the defense into awfully, just tapping over there. And nice job there by Eva Knutson to set things right back up. And Vermillion gets another point. Now trail at 7-3. 2 straight points. The first time we have seen that from them tonight. Trailing it by 4. Doty will send it back over. Sends it right to Renee Ross, the defensive specialist, and nicely sending it right into the middle of the court. Well, nobody was that. Was Abby Brooks, and another point for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. And now up to serve for the first time will be Autumn Barger for Madison. Bounces the ball twice and will send it over now. Goes back to a fading Shandy Ludwig. But she recovers nicely and sets it up as the Tanagers get over, but come back to the Madison Bulldogs. Blocked at the net, though, by the Tanagers. And this time it's going to be sending it high in the air. Is Abby Brooks. Ludwig tried to keep it alive by popping it up, but just popped it up too far and back behind her teammates. Another point makes it 9-3. Madison leads it over the Vermillion Tanagers. Claire Doty at the net will set it up nicely, but there to recover once again are the Bulldogs. Then Brooks is set up perfectly, and she gets another great kill, her 4th of the night. She got set up nicely and hammered it home against Shandy Ludwig. 10-3. Still up to serve is Autumn Barger for Madison. Now can't quite get it over the net. This time is Amber Scholes. We'll give a free point. She was getting set up to send it over, but jumped just a little too far ahead. Sent it into the net. 11-3. Kara Clemmie tries to send it into the back corner, but it's going to go too far. Great spot with the ball where she was trying to work it, but again, just a little too far. And another point for the Madison Lady Bulldogs makes it 12-3. Ludwig will be the first one to set it up, and then jumping in front of the way this time was Kara Clemmie. Getting in the way of Shandy Ludwig maybe to set something up, and just a little bit miscommunication. That's all that point comes down to, but it is a point. And finally, head coach Jody Zeller wants a timeout and will take the break with her as Madison leads it quickly over the Vermillion Tanagers 13-3. You're listening and watching Vermillion Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions. We'll be back in a moment.
Considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
An extended break for head coach Jody Zeller and the Vermillion Tanagers, trailing already by 10 here in the first set, 13-3, as Madison so far has had their way tonight against the Tanagers. Back in action, though, we'll see if the timeout worked anything. A nice job there by Renee Ross to dig this one on a hard shot there by Eva Knutson, and a tip at the net trying to block it. Tanagers camp. What a great job there by Eva Knutson, but even better by Renee Ross to go down and dig it up to make sure Vermillion couldn't get the point. And right now the luck just isn't going the Tanager way. Checking out will be Amber Scholes, and now checking in, Arlena Heil to the game for the Tanagers. First substitution we've really seen for either team, and now another one goes too far past the line for Vermillion. Trying to find that back line in the home, and they have yet to do so. 15-3 as it continues to be serving Autumn Barger. And another point for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. 16-3. Autumn to serve again. And it's been very consistent. And one that's popped up by Eva Knutson right there at the line is Abby Brooks. And she easily sends it right back into the hardwood of the Tanagers. 14-point lead for Madison Lady Bulldogs, 17-3. They're now 8 points away from winning this first set. And finally, it's going to be a service error by Autumn Barger as she puts it too close to the Tanager bench. And it'll be a free point. The Tanagers needed that one, but still trail by quite a few. As a few more, it looks like Madison Lady Bulldog fans trickle in. Again, this was supposed to start 7:30, and we're almost done with the first set. Another hard shot as Brooks gets now another kill, number 8 for her in this first set. Again, she came in with 141. She averages 5 kills. 18-4. Claire Doty will set it up nicely and then try to send it up, and it's sent right to Brooks. But Brooks sends it back, and Tanagers try to get the quick point. Not going to work as the Lady Bulldogs were ready. This time Ludwig will set it up, hitting it, and a great block there by Madison. Now there's a discussion here at the net. Does they give the point? They do. It will be finally a point, but great job once again by Eva Knutson. The battle there hard at the net, but Madison was ready with the block. 19-4. It's Brooks who is up to serve. It's dug out by Ludwig and set up nicely, but nothing doing there for Brooklyn Voss. And now one that's going to get popped up, and a mistake by the Madison Lady Bulldogs is that they weren't expecting it on the dig to go over the net, and when it did, just weren't ready to make anything happen with it. 19-5. Madison coming once again, trying to finish this set off. But Vermillion trying to keep things alive, and they'll do so again with another point. 2 straight points for Vermillion makes it 19-6. Kara Clemmie will come back, Kara Clemmie will be up to serve. So the first one nicely and easily over the net. Now coming back, and Vermillion digs it up and will send it back this time Stockwell, but she sends it too far. Had too much strength on that one. Now makes it 20-6 as a couple more substitutions. Hallie Vansetti will check out, and Skylar Sargent, another senior, will step in for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. As we mentioned, quite a bit of seniors on this team, 4 seniors, along with 6 juniors. So a very experienced and seasoned Madison team, and all those seniors will play throughout the night. A bit of a rally going on between Madison and Vermillion. Sargent will send it over, or excuse me, that was Vanderbosch who just sent it over, and now being set up, Eva Knutson. Madison ready there once again. Now diving Claire Doty. Ludwig saves it, trying to get over as Kara Kalemi. She does a nice battles at the net and continues to keep this rally going on a nice defensive play by Madison. And finally, a big point for the Vermillion Tanagers and Eva Knutson. Longest rally that we have seen of the night, and a little bit of life coming to Vermillion. Eva is up to serve. Again, Madison trying to finish this one off, leading it by 13. One popped up in the air. Ludwig and Claire Doty kind of both shouted for it. No one really went for it, and it falls right in the middle. The third time now that a ball has just fallen right in the middle of the court on the Vermillion side. 21-17, and now an ace as Kara Kalemi can't reach it. Or excuse me, they're going to give it to the Tanagers. So 21-8, as it looked like Kalemi might have missed it and went too far. And now Emily Dahl will check in. And coming out of the game will be Brooklyn Voss for Vermillion. Get the whistle, and Emily up to serve. 21-8. Popped up in the air. Madison will send it over now with Barger, and it's going to fall on the Vermillion side to the hardwood, and another point for the Madison Lady Bulldogs, as it looks like they'll be able to finish this one out. As we're going to see another quick substitution by Vermillion. 22-8. As up to serve again will be Renee Rost. She's served nicely so far, and then miscommunication again by the Tanagers, and that has really been what it's been all about so far for Vermillion, is who's going for it. They'll pop it up, and then everyone will kind of look around. 23-18. Madison 2 points closer. Quick send over by Vermillion, but the Lady Bulldogs ready. This time it's going to be blocked by a hard shot of Abby Brooks, but it continues to stay alive. Now the ball goes into the Tanager side. Ludwig on the third hit will just have to get it over. Now Madison will set it up and send it back over to Kara Kalemi. She digs up nicely. Now Stockwell at the net. It's going to be blocked down by Abby Brooks and set to the ground on the Vermillion side. And we'll now go to the point set for the Madison Lady Bulldogs, leading it 24-8. Stockwell trying to get the point. Not going to work, as this time Kruzmark is there to play nicely. And now Vermillion has it on their side. Claire Doty will set it up for Stockwell, and Stockwell will send it too far. And that will be a point for the Lady Bulldogs. And after the first set, Madison gets the win 25-8 over the Vermillion Tanagers. The second set is coming up here in moments. Don't go anywhere. You're listening and watching to Tanager Volleyball, presented by Fuller Digital Solutions on their YouTube page. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Vermillion Medical Clinic has an ongoing mission to provide areas with quality health care and convenient access to medical professionals. Our patients at Vermillion Medical Clinic value our dedicated primary care physicians, compassionate PAs, and consistently scheduled outreach specialty care. If you have health questions, need a screening, or have medical concerns for yourself or family members, call us for an appointment or visit VermillionMedicalClinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
First set, it's the Madison Lady Bulldogs cruising pretty easily past the Vermillion Tanagers, getting the win 25-8. As the conversation continues for a head coach, Jody Zeller. In the Vermillion Tanagers, again, if you're not unaware, you get 3 minutes after each set to talk to the team. And those 3 minutes are getting even winding down now under the minute mark. Finally, head coach Jody Zeller was sent back out her team, probably maybe a minute in, a little after a minute. After the first set was over, it was already done for Jill Krotfroll and the Madison Lady Bulldogs in their conversation as they came back out in a hurry and were ready to begin this second set. Again, if you're just tuning in to Tanager Volleyball, this one has been a quick-moving one so far tonight as it was sweeps by Madison in earlier action, and right now in volleyball and varsity, they're looking to continue after a big 25-8 first set win. And a big reason is because of Abby Brooks, who continues to just battle at the net and comes up with the first point for Madison, as they now lead it 1-0 quickly. And now up to serve will be Allie Van City, as she just checks in. Checking out will be Skylar Sargent. Back into action, Van City will easily hit it over, and then Tanagers, Shandy Ludwig will send it quickly into the net, and another easy point for Madison, now leading it 2-0. And now a service error, just the second one from the Madison Lady Bulldogs. And it'll be a point for the Vermillion Tanagers. Something you might see a little bit more in other teams, but when you're ranked number 5 in the state with Class 11A, you don't make a lot of mistakes. That is what the Madison Lady Bulldogs are, number 5. Vermillion Tanagers, they haven't seen all of the top 5 here in the state because they're going to see a few more throughout their season, including the number 1 and number 2 as well. Another point for the Vermillion Tanagers, and they tied up for the first time tonight. Besides being at zeros, it's 2-2. As quickly Madison, that first set, led it 4-0 before Vermillion came up with their first point. And then at the net, blocked again, this time by Abby Brooks. She wants to come back, but has nothing really to work with, just has to send it over. Vermillion, they don't really set too much up. And now the Madison Lady Bulldogs might have had something, but Ludwig nicely digs it back up and then play it at the net. It's going to go into it and bounce off, and a point for the Tanagers as it lands on the Bulldog side. And Vermillion has their first lead of this entire match so far tonight, leading it 3-2 in the second set. And now an ace comes from Kara Kalemi. So we know Kara has been phenomenal so far this season, especially when it comes to aces and what she has been able to do. And she adds another one. By the way, she's had now 65 aces. Or excuse me, take that back. I'm sorry. She's had 13 aces. Read the wrong line there. So still impressive of 13 that we have seen, including 6 against Lennox in our first coverage of volleyball action this season. By the way, score is 4-3. Vermillion still leads it over Madison. And now another point. So Tanagers lead it 5-3. Again, talked about the rankings and the Class A. Sioux Falls Christian, number 1, sitting at 10-0 this season, including, I believe it was 4 or 5 wins came this past weekend as they were in a tournament in Iowa. I want to say it was 4. Either 10 wins came in that tournament. So that really helps boost things. But they were playing against some pretty big schools from the state of Iowa as well, including a couple out of Class 3A. For Sioux Falls Christian, comes to the state of Iowa, by the way, you'd probably classify them as probably a 2A school. So still getting some big wins. Then in second place in Class A is Dakota Valley, also at 5-0 this season. Winner is 5-0 and at third. Rapid City Christian, 8-0 and fourth place. And then as we mentioned, Madison, 5-2, coming into action tonight, sitting at 5th place. Garrettson, Parker, Hill City, and Mobridge all receiving votes. All those teams undefeated. In fact, the only team that has lost is Madison. That is ranked or receiving votes. And again, we talk about why that is if you missed out, because Madison has lost to number 1 Sioux Falls Christian and number 1 Northwestern out of Class B. Check back in action here. It's 6-6 between Vermillion and Madison. As again, that first set, it was all Madison, 25-8. And now just sending it quickly over, and a nice point there was Kylie Kruzmark. It was kind of popped up to her and just easily sent it over. So another point as Madison will take back their lead 7-6. Now Kruzmark will head back to serve as there's a couple substitutions for the Vermillion Tanagers, and we're ready to go once again. Sent right to Ludwig. She'll dig it up and then send it up, and can't do anything with it this time is Arlena Heil, and she sent it right into the net. 2 straight points now for the Lady Bulldogs, makes it 8-6. Eva Knudsen at the back line will dig it up nicely, try to set something up, and will do so. Nice job to Stockwell. Stockwell sends it across the court with the point, making it 8-7. Now Stockwell will head back to serve after getting the point for the Tanagers. And now a nice, great serve sends 2 Madison Lady Bulldogs to the ground and dive after it. But Madison recovers, going to the ground to dig it out this time for Vermillion with Shandy Ludwig. A little bit of a rally going on. So Ludwig gets it sent to her again, and she'll keep it alive again. And Stockwell just has to try to send it over. She won't be able to. And another point for the Madison Lady Bulldogs, 9-7. And if you're just tuning in, this is the second set as this game tonight started about 7:05 between Madison and Vermillion, as it was some clean sweeps that we have seen from the Lady Bulldogs, making a little bit of over 2-hour trip here to Vermillion. Now this one is going to be sent too far past the line from Clemmy, and that streak of 3 points now in a row continues for Madison. They lead it 10-7. So now setting things up and sending it over are the Madison Bulldogs. Sending it into the net, just trying to make something happen was Ludwig. She couldn't, 11-7. Again, talk about the Tanagers. This continues a 4-game home streak for them. They'll have Garrettson and T area all coming up next week, Monday and Tuesday. For the first time this year, which is crazy to think about, I'll take a vacation day. Yeah, that's right. I haven't taken a vacation day yet this year in 2020, even with all the craziness. I'm taking it on Monday. So our next volleyball action that we'll have for you will be on that Tuesday once I return from my one-day vacation with the T area Titans, the Lady Titans coming to town before Vermillion goes on the road to play Gayville-Volin, Sioux Falls Christian, then is back home on September 29th. I believe we'll have that coverage for you here with Fuller Digital Solutions. Again, that'll be a good matchup to watch. Something else I want to talk about is Dakota Valley, that number 2 seed, that we won't see them till October 23rd here at home. But Dakota Valley They got a big win this past week against the Sioux Falls Washington team, who's tied for third in the standings in Class 11 AA. So Dakota Valley, a very, very talented team as well. 14-8. It's Madison lead over the Vermillion Tangers. Arlena Heil just sends it right into the hardwood. As you can tell, she's frustrated with herself. Doesn't make the proper contact on it. Jody Ziller want a timeout or just a quick substitution. It looks like it's going to be a substitution. Heil is going to come out. And the substitution is made, and we're ready to go once again. As serving is Renee Rost for the Lady Bulldogs. 15-8 is the score. It's been a big run by Madison, and that run continues now of 9 straight points from Madison to double up the Vermillion Tangers, make it 16-8. Yes, at one point, it was nicely put together and a close one. In fact, at one point, Vermillion even had the lead, and finally, the streak is stopped by the Tanagers, as it looked like that was Eva Knutson who sent it down the far line, and no one there of Madison. 16-9. As Shandy Ludwig will be up to serve for the Vermillion Tanagers. Ludwig gets the big run up and will send it over just nicely. Madison ready. Now Brooks will have to kind of get the fadeaway, just send it over. They want to get it to her. Again, she's the leader in kills for Madison. But right now, Vermillion's doing a nice job kind of keeping it away from her. And now on the third hit, Madison's able to get it over. Claire Doty will set it up to Eva Knutson, and saving it this time is Rost for the Bulldogs. Getting it back over, and then a block at the line, as it was Brooks there along with Autumn Barger for the Lady Bulldogs to come away with the point at the net. 17-9. As up to serve now for Madison will be Allie Vancity. Sends it over nicely, and Vermillion will return it back. And now block at the net, but just can't quite get it to fall inbounds. Great job there again by Eva Knutson along with Brooklyn Voss to battle at the net, and they send it right back to Madison, but unfortunately sends it out of bounds. 18-9. Ludwig will quickly send it over for the Vermillion Tangers, and will set it up perfectly, and this will go right into the face of Ludwig, and she'll bounce right back up. Well, that one's never a good feeling, but you wonder why. Abby Brooks is so talented. Again, the 6'2" middle hitter senior. There's a big reason why she leads in kills for this team. She's doubled up most of Madison. 19-9. The Lady Bulldogs now just 6 points away from taking the second set. Voss tries to get a big kill. Jump maybe a little too early and sends it a little too far. Doesn't get the full contact that she wanted to make there. 20-9. 5 more points for the Lady Bulldogs. Just quick send it over. Hits the net. Finds its way over. But then quickly Madison sends it right back into the hardwood. Another point, 21-9. Again, 25-8. Madison won the first set. Right now it looks like they are going to win the second set over the Vermillion Tangers. 21-9. Ludwig will dig it up right at the three-point line on the basketball court / volleyball court. We're at Vermillion High School. Now Eva Knutson dives to the ground trying to get it over, and unfortunately cannot. Set it up to Kara Clemmy, and Clemmy was kind of falling away. And again, just not able to make that full contact. Another point, 22-9. Now Madison over Vermillion. Bulldogs will send it over. Has continued to serve there, by the way, is Allie Vansetti. And finally, Vermillion will end this streak that Madison was going on and hit double digits for the first time tonight, even though they trail yet 22-10. And Madison just those 3 points away. Up, and Madison will send it over with Abby Brooks, and Brooks gets another easy point. 23-10, and now just 2 points away. Madison is from taking the second set with Autumn Barger up to serve. And she has been successful, very, very successful tonight when she serves. Madison will have to keep it alive and send it back over as Vermillion will deal with it. Stockwell into the net, but can't quite get it over. Had the top of the net, but again, it's a point again for Madison Lady Bulldogs, 24-10, and this will now bring us to set point. Barger will send it over, popped up in the air, and it's going to be set right to Abby Brooks. She sends it home, and set two goes to Madison. They lead it they win it 25-10 and 25-8. As we'll go to the third set that comes up here in moments as you're listening and watching to Tanger Volleyball, presented by Fuller Digital Solutions on their YouTube page.
West Ready Mix Equipment for Vermillion.
We rent out and operate dozers, excavators. We also have aerial equipment.
Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix.
We got telehandlers, payloaders, skid loaders, just a lot of different equipment that we rent and we sell it too. And you can rent to buy. And you end up having it for 6 months. We'll give you a buyout option on that thing.
Call Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment. Vermillion. Easy to work with and not hard to find.
Make space for tall items. Quickly and easily move the bins side to side for convenient storage options. The Flexi Slide Bin, brought to you by Whirlpool.
We're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait. We only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact from your agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
25-10, 25-8, and so far it has been the Madison Lady Bulldogs as they have won the first 2 sets over the Vermillion Tangers and looking to continue the sweep going through all levels of varsity, JV, and freshman volleyball tonight over the Vermillion Tangers as we're going to get set for this third set as head coach Jody Zeller continues to talk to the girls. As everyone kind of looks up at the clock, we are getting close again. If you are unaware, they are always given 3 minutes after each set. And it goes all the way down to the about last 30 seconds before Tangers finally break the huddle. And we're ready to go once again. Talk about some more Fuller Digital Solution action with video coming up and what our next kind of couple of days and couple of weeks in broadcasting is going to look like. That's coming up again here in just a moment, but first we'll get you set back into action as they let that go all the way down to 0. Here we go. Renee Rost will be the first one to serve to begin this third set, and we are underway between Madison and Vermillion, and a quick point right away to the Lady Bulldogs, and they lead it 1-0. Rost has been very, very successful coming up to her 21st serve of the night. So again, very talented is what she has been able to do, and now make it to 22 as quickly Madison begins on a 2-0 lead. When it comes to broadcasting and Fuller Digital Solutions, along with our other partner, ESPN Radio, we have more action for you coming up tomorrow night with the Vermillion Tangers and the Yankton Bucks. As number 1 team in Class 11AA, Yankton will come to the Dakota Dome and what will be in a very exciting matchup, as again, that's a big rivalry back in the 1970s, 80s, and first couple of years in the 1990s before it went on a hiatus from 1991 until last year in 2009. Now, Yankton got the win last year, 29-0. So Vermillion looking to return the favor this year and kind of end a little bit of a skid streak for the Teenagers as they've lost their last 2 games in a row, including a heartbreaker to Tri-Valley within the final 60 seconds. So a big matchup. If you can't make it to the Dakota Dome, we will have all the action on kvtk.com is where you can find that football game, or along with, like I said, partner for tonight, Fuller Digital Solutions. Myself and John Thayer, the voice of the Coyotes, will be on the broadcast for that one. So again, if you can't join us in the Dakota Dome, then hopefully you can join us here on YouTube and catch all the action. Should be a lot of fun. Look forward to that game coming up tomorrow. 4-2 is the score here. Back in action as the Tangers try to get the point. This time it's not going to happen from Brooklyn Voss. She tried to send it across court. Just kind of like a little bit of a lob there, but couldn't find the line. And goes out 5-2. Again, this Tanger team might look a little bit different as we've seen a couple of freshmen play so far tonight. Maybe not the usual lineup of what we normally see just because of so many girls dealing with COVID-19, not necessarily being sick, but just kind of the precaution. As we've seen some craziness that has continued to affect the South Dakota sports world, including peer governors have had to postpone all their athletics for this past week due to cases of COVID-19. And again, they just got done playing Yankton on Friday in football, and they have shut down all of their sports, including tomorrow night's big matchup against number 1 T area. So disappointed that one doesn't happen, but at the same time, happy to see it doesn't happen because of the proper precautions being taken and everyone staying safe when it comes to COVID-19. Another point for Madison. They have now extended it to a lead by 6, 8-2 over the Vermillion Tanagers. Up to serve, and we'll send it over, by the way, is Allie Van City, who has been serving the last 4 serves here for the Lady Bulldogs. And she'll continue to serve as this one gets past Kara Clemmy. Makes it now 9-2. 25-10, 25-8. Not a whole lot of other action that is going on across the state of South Dakota when it comes to volleyball action. If we do find any scores, we will let you know what's all happening. It's a little bit of a rally going here for Vermillion, trying to get a point, trailing it by 7, but it's going to be set up perfectly to Brooks, and she sends it home. And another one for her. And now makes it 10-2. Other action, the Huron Tigers, they win the second set over Brookings, 25-23. So there's a quick look at a score. And otherwise, not a whole lot when it comes to volleyball action. Mitchell and Sioux Falls Lincoln, I know, are in action, but again, have not seen really any other scores. So just trying to watch for anything else that happens here in a little bit longer, but right now Madison is making quick work of the Vermillion Tangers. And head coach Jody Zeller has seen enough. It's 12-2. Madison leads it by 10. We'll take a quick break and be right back. You're listening and watching to Tanger Volleyball, presented by Fuller Digital Solutions. We'll be back in a moment.
Considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
Madison wastes no time getting right back out there, and we're ready to go once again as Vermillion takes a little bit more of their time. Again, it's just been a tough night so far for the Vermillion Tanagers, as right now they trail it once again, 12-2 here in this third set. And if the Vermillion Tanagers can't get back into it, they will not get any wins over Madison when it comes to all levels of volleyball action tonight, as it's been nothing but sweeps. So again, it's 7:45, so maybe if you're just tuning in, you expect this to be in the first or maybe getting close to the second set. It has not been that. Again, this one started early, though, as well. That's not how, we didn't start at 7:30. It's just been that quick. We started at about 7:05, but as we mentioned, it has been moving quickly along. 13-2 now is the score as Madison continues their little bit of a scoring run here, and Vermillion just can't find seem to find anywhere to put the ball. Every time they send it back over, Madison is ready. And now 14-2. So all the life of the Tanagers has just kind of disappeared, unfortunately. And they'll have to bounce back with more games coming up next week as they'll continue to play at home. And finally, a big block by Eva Knutson at the net and results in a point for the Vermillion Tanagers. Finally snaps that scoring run that the Madison Lady Bulldogs were on. And now Eva will, after getting a big block in, will set up to serve. She'll send it over nicely. Madison working with it. It's going to be Brooks who will send it right across court, but it was too far as Ludwig dig past it, missed it though, and again goes beyond the line as well. And a point for Vermillion, making it 14-4 as we now await another ball. And finally get it, and we're ready to go. 14-4. Eva will send it over. Set up, and it's going to be hit right to Autumn, and chasing after there was Eva Knutson. Maybe didn't have to, as that one probably would have gone too far. But again, the hand was stuck in there, popped up in the air, and back into the back wall. And another point, 15-4. It's an 11-point lead. Get our next game with the Vermillion Tanagers when it comes to volleyball action will be on Tuesday here at home against the T-Area Titans. We'll have that coverage, and a quick look at the T-Area Titans. So far in their season, they played quite a few games. They have come up with 4 wins and also 4 losses. As I mentioned, they've also played in a tournament this season, so that comes with 3 of their 8 games that we have seen. And they are in action tonight against the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. Have not seen any score update, though, from that one. Back here in action, it's 17-4, make it 18-4. As Madison just continues to blow by the Tanagers. It's now checking out of the game will be Abby Brooks, and I have to believe that will be the last action we'll see of Abby this evening. Coming in will be Audrey Nelson, 5'11", middle hitter, freshman. 5'11" for a freshman, though. My goodness, she's tall. Pays big dividends when it comes to volleyball. And speaking of, it looks like they're going to try to set it to her, and they don't. Instead, they set it to Sophia Vanderbosch, and Vanderbosch comes up with the point, making it 19-14. And with that, Vanderbosch will now check out, and coming in will be Megan Trosenberg. First time we have called her name tonight. As again, Madison just kind of makes her few substitutions, trying to get out of here with the victory, leading it 19-4 over the Vermillion Tanagers. Right now, Autumn Barger up to serve for Madison. At the net, Stockwell tries to send it over, but Madison ready there on defense not to let anything happen. Now Voss will send it right there on the line and nicely puts it in for the point for the Tanagers, as they need that. Ends another little bit of a drought and put that one perfectly into the back corner. Emily Naw will now come in. Emily, just the second time she has served tonight. The senior, as Vermillion has already celebrated senior night. Did that their first home game just due to COVID-19. Didn't know what necessarily was going to happen with this season. And you have to have that feeling that even with COVID and everything that's happened, teams that have missed games, including Vermillion themselves, you have to feel even better that we might get at least through all the fall seasons. Of course, that was in so much confusion if that would ever happen, but as mentioned, you have a better feeling that it might, just because we're getting towards the end of September. As a lot of people might have thought, if anything would have flared up or been really bad, it would have been at that beginning of school. And basically, I've made it through a month already. Like I said, it's not that COVID hasn't played a factor, maybe not as big of a factor as we all thought it might. And we hope it continues to stay that way and even avoid as much as possible. Another point for Madison now makes it 22-5. As we've seen a couple more substitutions from Vermillion. And now Brianna Wildermuth, who just checked in, will come back out as Eva Knutson will come back in. We wait on the substitution. Finally ready to go. 22-5. Madison trying to get the sweep over Vermillion in varsity action. Already done it in JV and freshman so far tonight. Setting it up and knocking it over. No, not going to happen for Allie Van City and the Madison Lady Bulldogs, and that will give a point to Vermillion. 22-6, and Allie will now come out as another substitution is made. It'll be Abby Palmquist who will check in for the Madison Lady Bulldogs. Sydney Stockwell will set up to serve after we clear the substitutions, and we're ready to go. Stockwell, back line, sends it over, and it will come up with the ace as Madison, the diving Macy Teedy, wasn't ready for it. So a big ace, 22-7. Stockwell to serve again, and it's going to come up with another ace for Sydney Stockwell. 22-8. 2-point run for Vermillion and Sydney. As again, we have seen basically the JV team out here now for Madison trying to get the last 3 points, but it's been 3 points in a row for the Vermillion Tanagers, making it 22-9. Madison will see if they can't try to get this one out. I think there's only one starter or one common name still out there for the Madison Lady Bulldogs, and that is Kylie Kruzmark. Otherwise, again, this is all kind of a JV team or the backups for Madison. And we'll let this just kind of go for a while and let this JV team try to finish it off for Madison. Still leading it comfortably. Nothing to worry about. 22-10. And a great save. It looked like it was going to be another point for the Vermillion Tanagers. They can't come up with it. It's Kara Clemmie will send it into the net. Now a violation by Claire Doty. And a point for Madison makes it 23-10. And back to serve will be Kylie Kruzmark. 23-10. Send it over and digging up will be Ludwig. Kara Clemmie just sends it over. Madison back the other way, trying to finish this one off. 23-10. Now on the third hit, just have to send it over. They're able to. Vermillion setting it up and back line. Great save there from Teedy of the Bulldogs. Vermillion will set up again and set it quickly over. Madison ready. 23-10 as a good little rally's going, and now it's a point for the Lady Bulldogs, making it 24-10. And this will be the last point, or I should say set point, as Kruzmark will come out. And we'll see another substitution made by Madison. Up to hit will be Amanda Van City. Amanda, the freshman. 24-10, set point, and she sends this one right into the net. She was excited to serve, but just can't quite get it over. 24-11, so Vermillion still with this set point is going to need to put something together and a magical run. Claire Doty, the one to serve. Madison saves it, no. I thought they might have had, but it's going to be going underneath with a net violation and a point for Vermillion. 24-12. As Claire Doty up to serve again. Send it over. Madison trying to set it up, and on the third hit, we'll just get it over nicely. Claire sets it up. Eva Knutson will send it over the Madison side. Going over to the side, then can't get it. Right in front of her own bench is Teedy. And another point for the Vermillion Tanagers makes it 24-13. As Claire Doty will continue to serve. Sends it back over. Madison will have to send it back over. They're not really setting anything up with this JV team. And now one that's knocked over at the line or at the net is going to be knocked over, but Madison is able to save it nicely. They dig it back up and battle at the net again. And another point for the Vermillion Tanagers. Definitely tell the young JV squad of Madison, and they are going to learn. It looks a lot different from their varsity. 24-14 now. As Vermillion just continues a little bit of a run, trying to get back into it. Now miscommunication. Finally, Emily gets it over for the Tanagers. It almost fell on Vermillion in miscommunication. Now the second hit the Stockwell back row, and Stockwell sends it over, but it's going to be out of bounds, and it is the point for the Madison Lady Bulldogs, and they get the win in 3 straight sets. It's a sweep. 25-14, 25-10, and 25-8. Tanager fans, that concludes our volleyball action tonight. But coming up tomorrow, we have Vermillion football versus the Yankton Bucks. You can catch all the action along with Fuller Digital Solutions. If you can't watch it, you can listen to it on ESPN 1015, AM 1570, and online at kvtk.com. If you can't make it to here at home in the Dakota Dome, we'll also be able to watch that game along with Fuller Digital Solutions providing the video at kvtk.com as well. There is a video link and there is a radio link at that website, so make sure you check that out. As again, the Yankton Bucks traveling to take on the Vermillion Tanagers. Yankton so far 3-0 on their season and ranked number 1 in Class 11 AA. Should be some exciting action for football tomorrow. Again, Madison sweeps Vermillion 25-14, 25-10, and 25-8. You've been listening to Vermillion Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions with their YouTube page. I'm Heath Nimke. Until tomorrow night, have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening.